What's up, my YouTube family? Welcome to another interesting vlog at Home and Farm with Dowty is the place for your real and authentic content. Today, I want us to talk about the spacing requirement for your birds and why you need the space that you need depending on your number of birds. So, the recommendation for spacing is that you need at least 1 to 1.5 square foot per bird. Okay, so if your whole space is about 60 square foot, then you will know that you need uh, about half the spacing for the number of birds. So the one I have right behind me is about 600 square feet. All the way, you can see the length of it all the way there. All this space is 600 square feet, and if we will go with the spacing requirement of about one to two, depending on if you're keeping local chicken or broilers, let's talk of 2 square feet per bird. That means that I will need about 300 birds to be able to fill this particular place. If I go beyond that number, then it means my birds will be congested. So no matter how much space you have, you can use the spacing requirements that is available to have the number of birds that is adequate for the space that you have. Now, that spacing requirement that I'm talking about is for the interior part. For the exterior part, really, I'm not sure how much space you need, but for the interior part, I know that the spacing for each bird is about 1 to 1.5 square feet. This one incorporates feeding, okay? It takes care of the feeding, it takes care of the drinking, it takes care of movement. Birds love to coexist with one another, so all that factors taken into consideration, you need about 1 to 1.5 square foot per bird. On matters of spacing as well, if you have free range bird, then you don't have a limitation of space. Your birds will free range, and in the evening they will come back to their poultry house just to roost or to rest. So for us, we want to do semi-free range where we will keep them inside, and at some point we'll release them to come outside here. Down below here, this space is for them to sunbath. As you can see, this space here is quite long. Okay, we are going to prepare this ground below the poultry house for the purpose of dust bathing. The birds love to play and ride themselves in the soil. So all this space all the way up to there, we will prepare the soil nicely, put poultry dust for the birds to be able to do dust bathing. So as matters space requirement, I don't think really there's any problem with that. Even the small space that you have, you can keep just adequate number of birds. I hope that you have learned something on how to space your birds. Don't congest them, because the respiratory diseases that always come with birds, they come because of congestion. And as well, let me give you a key thing that you have to know. Now, it is recommended that when you have your poultry house, air moves from one side and goes out through the other side. But for us, we thought, let us keep this mesh as it is, all that mesh as you can see, so that the air will circulate inside and come out. Even if the air goes in through that part, it will come out from this other part. We couldn't really achieve the idea of having the air to come from one side and to leave from the other side. That one could only be achieved if that end, the length side, was open and the other side was open. But for now, we just utilized it the way it is. I believe the high roofing on matters space requirement is very, very key to allow free circulation of air. Okay, so what do you think about spacing for birds? Give me some hints. How are you doing it for yourself? How are you spacing your birds? What are the key things that you're considering while creating enough space for your birds? This, for me, is very, very important. Also, make sure that they have enough nests, one nest for each bird for the period that they want to, lay eggs and incubate. Don't let your birds, fight over a nest. The other time, I showed you my mistakes that I made. I made 2 birds to incubate around the same area, and it was chaotic when they had hatched. So make sure you have enough poultry nests for them to lay eggs and to incubate later if there is need. Thank you so much for sticking on this video. Thank you for clicking. Thank you for liking, for commenting, and for sharing. I will see you in the next vlog. Welcome to At Home and Farm. If this is your first time, comment, like, share, and subscribe. Please keep it here for this and more authentic content, and for you to learn more. I will see you in the next vlog. Bye bye.